I've been researching Jonkonnu, particularly Jamaican Jonkonnu, because it's a masquerade that is held in the Caribbean, typically, and other like southern parts of the United States, actually, like the Carolinas and a little bit in Florida. Um, it's basically a masquerade that was practiced by enslaved Africans, typically during the holidays like Christmas and New Year's. And it's like a carnival or festival that also the characters typically would mock slave masters because Christmas or the holidays was the only time that they would have off, and so the enslaved were free only at that particular time. And this masquerade incorporated a bit of African traditions as well as incorporating some European traditions. And so this masquerade would entail, maybe we would have about approximately 15 characters that are commonly celebrated. And yeah, I've just been researching that for the past 2 years, and I'm, even reading about the differences of the aesthetics between the islands, and it's just really interesting. So yeah, Jonkonnu actually in Jamaica though is it's kind of, it's also like a dying art in some way. It's not like as widely celebrated anymore because of, well, the abolition of slavery contributed to that. So, and then just with modernization and like we could celebrate Christmas, like like the slave masters did. So it's, I mean, yeah, it's but I think it's just interesting that they had like different troops around the island and they competed in like the 1950s, and it's interesting how it's also like practiced in other parts of the Caribbean. And so it was also, I mean, it's called Jonkonnu because it was supposedly named after John Canoe or January Connie. It goes by different names according to different texts, but he was known for defeating the Dutch in Ghana and holding that defeat for about 20 years. And so the story of his defeat, he was an African person, someone that like managed it for, but also he was actually, it's funny, he was actually on the side of the Dutch. And then I guess there was like, he decided there was like some revolt, and like he ended up defeating them and holding this fort in Fort Fredericksburg. Today it's modern day Ghana. And then when news of that hit, the newly enslaved Africans, that story traveled with them over. So that is the way Jonkonnu was
influential,
how it evolved. And yeah, and then that story must have carried over somehow to the Carolinas, and so this is kind of a Pan-African experience. So yeah, I guess that's in a nutshell. I mean, I'm working on this project now called Jonkonnu, and it's derived from that story.